I think we're at like over 200,000 for merch sales. Don't quote me on that because I think it just keeps like bumping up like crazy. But
Turning Point USA, since Charlie was killed, just so you guys know, this is a fact, has made more than $100 million. That is separate from the $40 million they made at Mar-a-Lago.
Kids holding her husband's book. Then a video comes out and she's giggling 2 weeks after he passed, and she's talking about merchandise sales. I mean, she could have done the Jackie Kennedy.
So Candace Owens isn't just throwing side-eye at Erica anymore. She's now openly alleging that Erica ran a calculated scheme, one that allegedly drained the Turning Point USA base through a counterfeit merch operation she supposedly pulled millions from. And this time, Candace didn't arrive with whispers or vibes. She came armed, dropping what she claims are receipts, including a leaked audio clip capturing Erica laughing, joking, and celebrating merch profits with her inner circle just days after Charlie Kirk passed away. Now here's where it turns darker, because Candace isn't moving solo anymore. Word is she's now coordinating directly with Charlie's own sister. And when a family member steps into the fire, it sends one chilling message. This isn't an outside attack, it's a fracture from within. And before we unpack how the alleged merch setup functioned, and where that money supposedly disappeared to, there's one detail about the timing of that audio that makes the entire situation feel cold, calculated, and anything but accidental.
USA cult members are furious that Erica Kirk has been called a grifter, yet this audio seems to point to just that.
So, by now, everyone's seen the internet spiral into chaos after Candace Owens dropped that explosive audio, a clip that allegedly captures Erica in a moment that feels impossible to ignore, laughing freely alongside her inner circle as they revel in just how fast and how much that merch was moving.
nowhere to begin. The fact that we were able to pull off an event of a century, like, it's just insane.
And on its own, that audio doesn't immediately scream scandal. Stripped of context, it could easily pass as a leader hyping up her team, thanking them for the grind, applauding the effort they'd put in. But everything changes the moment you place that clip against the backdrop of what was unfolding at the time, and the chain reaction that followed after Charlie Kirk's death, when timing, silence, and motive suddenly start colliding in ways that feel impossible to ignore.
You have, is it 100 million? I think we're at like over 200,000 for merch sales. Don't quote me on that because I think it just keeps like bumping up like crazy.
According to Candace Owens, that audio traces back to an internal staff meeting held just days after Charlie Kirk passed away. And if the audio alone unsettled you, the video takes it somewhere darker, because in that footage, Erica isn't somber or restrained. She's beaming, smiling wide, repeatedly spotlighting just how strong the merch present was performing. The second that recording surfaced online, it detonated. Clips were ripped apart and reposted across TikTok, with users freezing frames, stitching reactions, and dissecting what they called an eerie fixation on profits, all while questioning why, at a moment like that, she wasn't focused on her children and helping them steady their lives after everything had just shattered.
To be with her kids, helping them put their lives together.
Erica Kirk calling Charlie Kirk's funeral the event of the century in the new leaked audio that Candace Owens posted is crazy.
Through all of this, Erica's remaining defenders fought relentlessly to shield her reputation, pushing back on every accusation and brushing off every red flag. But even as they rallied around her, there was one truth they refused to say out loud, the quiet realization that Candace Owens may have been right about Erica's obsession with money all along. That unspoken thought spilled across Twitter, where hundreds of posts dragged Erica for what many interpreted as an unsettling enthusiasm, accusing her of acting less like a grieving spouse and more like someone energized by the financial doors that suddenly swung open after her husband's death. But no one even had to confess it out loud, because the receipts didn't stay buried. They resurfaced on their own. And once they did, it became impossible to ignore that this wasn't a one-off moment, but a recurring pattern Erica didn't even attempt to conceal. Now here's the part that stands out the most. Candace Owens wasn't shocked, not even a little, when the narrative shifted toward Erica allegedly exploiting her loyal Turning Point USA supporters for cash. To Candace, this wasn't a revelation, it was confirmation. She claimed she saw the signs long before anyone else did and had been openly criticizing Erica's hunger for money for quite some time. The only difference now is that the public finally caught up months later. One of Candace's earliest concerns centered on how quickly Erica slid into Charlie Kirk's position as CEO immediately after his death. From Candace's perspective, that move felt rushed, calculated, and nearly impossible to justify. By placing herself at the top, Erica effectively sealed off any pathway to oversight. She could move freely, make unchecked decisions, and operate without resistance, because who realistically would dare challenge a grieving widow at a moment like that?
I think the mistake they made, and I've said on my podcast, she should never become the CEO and chairman overnight. Because now when people have questions, you got to answer them, right? You're not just a grieving widow, but you very quickly decided that you were equipped to be Charlie. Well, guess what? That's going to be a trial by fire. Charlie had to go through it. It's painful. And so people are feeling like, hey, it's not fair to ask her any questions.
But it didn't stop there. Candace Owens was one of the very first to clock what she claims was Erica turning grief into a revenue stream. Anyone who's been watching closely knows exactly what that looked like, the so-called grief tour. State after state, interview after interview, where loss wasn't just shared, it was packaged. Then came the book, heavily promoted as Charlie Kirk's final words, subtly pushing supporters to buy it not for the content, but for the emotional promise of feeling closer to him. But even that wasn't enough. The machine had to keep running, and the merch had to keep moving. And the moment Candace says she uncovered how that merch operation allegedly really worked, she stopped playing nice. She went nuclear, calling Erica out publicly and without restraint. And if you remember, Erica didn't stay quiet either. She went on air more than once, issuing warnings directly at Candace for daring to challenge her and Turning Point USA. She accused Candace of lying for profit, framing the criticism as a cash grab of its own. And she made it clear that if Candace didn't back off, there would be consequences.
Podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's, at one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now? Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
But that warning didn't slow Candace down, it lit a fuse. According to Candace Owens, Erica had been monetizing Charlie Kirk's death from the very beginning, and being told to stay quiet only confirmed it in her mind. That's when Candace laid out, step by step, how she claims the merch operation really functioned behind the scenes. She alleged that during Erica's tour stops, merchandise wasn't an afterthought. It was the priority, pushed harder than the message itself. Candace pointed to figures she says are impossible to ignore, claiming Turning Point USA pulled in well over $100 million from merch alone. And that number, she emphasized, doesn't even include the additional $40 million she alleges was raked in during the Black Tie Gala hosted at Mar-a-Lago in December of last year.
Since Charlie was killed, just so you guys know this is a fact, has made more than $100 million. That is separate from the $40 million they made at Mar-a-Lago the other night. So since Charlie has died, that organization has taken in $140 million. But gosh darn you people that are making hundreds of dollars every day on YouTube.
Erica is reportedly said to have charged as much as $10,000 per seat, with nearly 1,000 attendees packed into the room. But this is where the narrative takes a much darker turn. Allegedly, just one day after Charlie Kirk died, Turning Point USA quietly uploaded a new shirt to its website, a black and white illustration of Charlie raising his fist, paired with the words, "Here I am, Lord. Send me," followed by an Isaiah verse. Within a single week of his death, 5 more shirts appeared, each framing Charlie as a fallen hero. Every single one sold out at record speed. And as if that still wasn't enough, Erica allegedly launched a GoFundMe, tapping even deeper into the emotions of TPUSA supporters. Reports claim that fundraiser alone pulled in more than $6 million. And in the middle of all this, Candace Owens kept circling back to one unavoidable question. If nothing improper was happening, how do you explain the massive flood of money pouring in through merch? Where exactly was it all going? That question was never answered. Erica didn't issue a statement, She didn't threaten legal action. She didn't even attempt to shut the conversation down. And that silence spoke volumes, especially since the last few months have shown that Erica never hesitates to speak when it benefits her. But even she could see the shift. The goodwill Charlie built was evaporating, and loyalty within TPUSA was starting to crack, especially under the weight of his alleged merch scandal. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, Charlie's own sister stepped into the picture, and everything began to unravel. You'd think that with this kind of money coming in, Erica might finally slow down, spend time with her children, and actually process her loss. But according to insiders, that never happened. Instead, realizing how effortless it was to extract money from TPUSA supporters allegedly pushed her to keep the operation running for as long as possible. At that point, it wasn't just insulting to the fan base, it was a slap in the face to everyone who loved and supported Charlie long before Erica ever entered his life. That's where Charlie's sister Mary Kirk comes in. She claims that under Erica's leadership, TPUSA began obscuring the true scale of its earnings. That concern gained traction when an independent investigator reportedly discovered missing tax and financial audit documents tied to the organization. Even more alarming, those records allegedly vanished just months before Charlie's death, right around the time Erica started taking on a more dominant role behind the scenes. Sources say Charlie himself had grown suspicious and had already hired a new team to audit the company's finances. But before those findings could ever reach him, his life was cut short. Once new leadership stepped in, the entire audit was quietly buried. That was the moment Mary decided she couldn't stay silent anymore. But the breaking point came later. According to multiple insiders, Erica allegedly reenacted the tent where Charlie was shot in front of thousands of people, then charged attendees to step inside and take photos. To Charlie's family, it felt less like remembrance and more like a grotesque spectacle. They were reportedly horrified. It was as if nothing mattered anymore except profit, no matter how painful or degrading it was for the people who actually mourned him. And now, Erica has gone completely quiet as more questions surface and more receipts emerge. Because this time, it isn't just Candace raising alarms. It's Charlie's own sister saying the numbers don't make sense. And when family starts pulling on threads like that, secrets don't stay hidden for long. So the real question isn't whether Erica crossed a line, it's whether all of this was happening right in front of everyone the entire time. Because once the money trail is dragged into the light, this story doesn't stop with merch.